If you grew up in the 80s, get ready for a memory overload. This was the decade where dolls came with birth certificate. Video games only needed one button. And somehow, a talking car became everyone's dream ride. From toys parents fought over, to cartoons we woke up early for every Saturday morning. These are 10 things every 80s kid was completely obsessed with. And some of these are going to make you wonder, why did we love this stuff so much? Let's rewind. Somehow, one of the biggest childhood crazes involved a tiny, wrinkly doll with giant eyes and hair that looked like it survived the lightning strike. Troll dolls were strange. They weren't fancy, they weren't high-tech. Honestly, they weren't even that cute. But somehow, every kid wanted one. They popped up everywhere, on desks, on backpacks, on pencils. And once you got one, you needed another, then another. Because apparently having an army of tiny trolls with neon hair watching you from your bedroom shelf was completely normal. And the crazier the hair, the better. If you could turn the entire 1980s into a cartoon character, it would probably look exactly like Rainbow Brite. Everything about her screamed 80s. Bright colors, big imagination, a magical world called Rainbow Land, and a horse named Starlight. Rainbow Brite wasn't just something you watched. She took over everything. Dolls, lunchboxes, backpacks, bedrooms. For a lot of kids, Rainbow Land felt like somewhere you actually wanted to live. And honestly, looking back at 80s fashion, we kind of did. Some childhood memories are things you see. Some are songs you hear. But this one was a smell. If you ever opened a strawberry shortcake doll, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That sweet strawberry scent could instantly transport you back. And she wasn't alone. There was a whole world of characters, each with their own look, their own personality, and their own scent. Kids collected them, played with them, carried them everywhere. And somehow, decades later, people still remember exactly how those dolls smelled. Only in the 1980s could someone say, what if colorful bears saved the world using feelings from their stomachs? And everyone said, yes, perfect. The Care Bears were everywhere. The cartoon, the movies, the stuffed animals, everyone had their favorite. Maybe you were Cheer Bear, maybe you were Tenderheart Bear, or maybe you were secretly Grumpy Bear. The Care Bears were sweet, colorful, a little ridiculous, and somehow exactly what the 80s needed. Before friendship was magic, it was tiny pastel ponies with brushable hair taking over bedrooms everywhere. My Little Pony became one of the toys kids couldn't get enough of. Every pony had its own colors, its own symbol, its own personality. And collecting them became part of the fun. Kids brushed their hair, styled their manes, created entire adventures. And somehow, spending an afternoon fixing a tiny plastic pony's hairstyle made complete sense. Because in the 80s, your toys didn't need screens. Your imagination did all the work. In the 1980s, one of the coolest stars on television wasn't even a person. It was a car. Kit from Knight Rider could talk, think, drive itself, and somehow had more personality than most humans. Every kid knew that red scanner light. Every kid wanted that dashboard. And every kid dreamed of having a car that could come rescue them whenever they needed it. Long before self-driving cars became real, 80s kids already had one. And it was awesome. Some words instantly unlock childhood memories. And for 80s kids, these were the words. I have the power! He-Man was everywhere. The cartoon, the action figures, Castle Grayskull sitting on bedroom floors. Then came She-Ra, showing everyone that saving the universe wasn't just for the boys. The battles were dramatic. The villains were unforgettable. The muscles were ridiculous. And the hair was extremely 80s. Before video games looked like movies, before online gaming, Before everyone carried games around in their pocket, there was Atari. A joystick, one button, simple graphics, and somehow it felt unbelievable. Today it might look like a few squares moving around the screen, but back then, this was the future. Families gathered around the TV, kids fought over whose turn was next, and for the first time, the arcade came home. Before viral shopping videos, before people camped outside stores for the newest phone, there was a doll that caused complete chaos. Cabbage Patch Kids weren't just toys. You adopted them. They came with names, birth certificates, their own little personalities, and every kid wanted one. Stores sold out. Parents searched everywhere. Lines formed, and getting one became a mission. It wasn't just buying a doll. It was bringing home your very own Cabbage Patch Kid. And if you had one, you probably still remember its name. But the biggest 80s childhood obsession wasn't something you could buy. It was a moment. Saturday morning, you woke up early, grabbed your favorite cereal, sat way too close to the TV, and waited. Because cartoons weren't available whenever you wanted. No streaming, no YouTube, no watching later. You had one chance, one morning, and somehow that made it even better. Today, kids have endless options, thousands of shows, instantly. But every 80s kid knows there was something magical about waiting all week for Saturday morning. The 80s were colorful. They were weird. They were completely over the top. And that's exactly why we remember them. What 80s obsession did we miss? Tell us in the comments, because some things are just so yesterday.